some elements of spirituality where consciousness can be explained. So this is what I saw from Penrose's books, and when he presented many places also.
But beyond 1 by 16th of a second, we cannot understand if that happened or not. Similarly, we use light, and using light we use other detectors
that connect us to spirituality. So these are certain practical aspects.
The personality, Dr. T.D. Singh, his magnanimity and his personality, divine personality, that drives me always.
Where is weakness, that can be converted to strength. That is the power of spirituality.
Myself, Giri HL. I'm a volunteer at Bhaktivedanta Institute. I also work for Your Story as a video and creative producer. I welcome everyone for this amazing podcast series, which is really different from what you know as a podcast. It's a science and spirituality podcast. Actually, what is science and spirituality podcast? It is bringing both community, scientists and spiritualists, on one platform for the benefit of mankind. Today we have amazing guests. Actually, today is first episode. We are planned for a panel discussion. This podcast has been inspired by my mentors, Prabhakar Ballapalle, also known as Paramakaruna Das, and Ajay Kumar Sahu, also known as Akrot Paramananda Das. These two people inspired me to take up this cause of podcast, where we can synthesize science and spirituality and build a content for it. Let me introduce Prabhakar Ballapalle. He is actually a senior technologist in SanDisk, and he is an alumnus of IIT Kanpur, and also is known as Paramakaruna Das. He is the president of Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore. I welcome Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Let me introduce the Ajay Kumar Sahu. He is a senior solution architect at Global Logic, and also he is known as Akrot Paramananda Das. He is a director of Institute of Value Education and Research, Jajpur, Orissa. I welcome you, sir. And another interesting guest we have is Professor Balram Sahu, who is currently a professor at IASC. He works for Material Research Center, MRC department, holds more than 160 publications and a long list of achievements. So before beginning podcast, I also would like to thank our production team, Kirtan Bhatt and Vivek. Actually, they've been associated with Bhaktivedanta Institute of Bangalore. They also work for other programs. I congratulate them for beginning this new studio, Kaivalya Media. So let me begin by asking a question to Prabhakar Ballapalle. Today's topic is the very fundamental in its nature, the science and spirituality importance in modern times. So what is, how important it is to work towards this science and spirituality?
Yeah, so if you see this both science and spirituality, these are the two dominating forces that shape this world and humanity, and both are very important, especially at this juncture, because if you see in olden days, spirituality or religion dominated more than required, and then later on it is the reverse, that science is now dominating very much more than required. Okay. So if the science and spirituality, these two dominant forces, can harmoniously work together, this can definitely benefit the entire humanity. Now there are different areas that can be considered for working together. One is science mostly deals with objective reality, and spirituality deals with subjective reality. So, when we talk about this world, the governing laws of this world, that is a reality within rationality. But if you take spirituality, of course it talks about reality within rationality, but goes beyond this, wherein it talks about a kind of reality which is beyond rationality also. So, now when we take our life, human life, we have got ethics, morality, emotions, and then also in modern science we have got problems like hard problem of consciousness, and there are many other areas like in quantum physics we have the Schrodinger's wave equation. So, there are many areas wherein modern science is limited in terms of really explaining all these concepts to the extent it is required. And in fact, if you see in the recent times, many scientists are openly welcoming the spiritualists to have a dialogue, and we can see from NIAS also, Dr. Shishir Roy, he recently conducted a kind of workshop wherein he invited both scientists and spiritualists to come together to discuss upon the problem of consciousness. And also there are many conferences happening on what is compassion, how it is important, and also there are conferences on about like what is humility and how we can inculcate humility. So, in this way, if both science and spirituality can work together for the betterment of humanity, it helps everybody, and especially at this critical juncture wherein human values are deteriorating very fast, I feel it is very important that both science and spirituality come together and work in a very harmonious way for the betterment of the humanity.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. As you told that in NIAS also there has been they're trying to inculcate this to science and spirituality, and why do you think that for a scientist they need to reach out to the spiritual side? What is that? Where is the importance of why any scientist needs to look into the spiritual aspects? Do you think?
Yeah, well, this topic is very interesting. You see, present days, we have developed lots of mechanism through the advancement of science. But are we developed in finding a meaning behind this mechanism? That is the question we need to ask. This level of inquisitiveness to be developed among scientists, to develop this culture when we have both mechanism and meaning in place, that will bring the best to mankind, to uplift the mankind. Science has the power, spirituality has the purpose, and when they both combines, that can bring lasting world peace. So, in very nutshell, this is the purpose why we both scientists and spiritual leaders with various religious platforms, they come together, discuss, dialogue, synthesize, and bring a worldview that solve major problems of the world.
So, what are the major problems that can be in the science world? You're a professor and you know what's happening. You see in very nearby, the current developments. So, Professor Balram Sao, I would like to ask you that how important that for a betterment of mankind, the spiritual aspects for a scientist to be aware of.
Yeah, I thank initially for inviting me to this episode. I would start from the first question that you asked. about the synthesis of science and spirituality at the modern times. So, if you see here, there are 4 words I picked up here. So, synthesis, science, spirituality, and modern world. Yeah. So, first synthesis. So, synthesis exactly means we have we do a lot of synthesis in the chemistry labs. So, synthesis means we take 2 precursors or 2 or more precursors. Out of this we get some other product which have let us say the products may have a different nature when you see the precursor's nature. So, this is basically synthesis. So, this is different from preparation. So, preparation means you use the ingredients, but the ingredients they do not lose their quality. So, you get some other product. That is what the preparation is. But here our Damodar Swami Maharaj Prabhupada gave this correct word, synthesis of science and spirituality. Synthesis actually means you take 2 different ingredients, you get some new product, 1 or more new products. So, this basically tells us that we start from something and we get something different, which has a different. So, when we come to the next point, science. So, the definition of science, when you see, the definition, it can be very broad, but in a single sentence we can say science is basically the study of the physical world and the knowledge about, acquiring knowledge and getting to know about the natural laws governing this physical world. So, this is science. So, in science what we study is basically the physical world. So, that means that we can see and we can perceive through our senses. When you go to spirituality, spirituality includes this physical world also, but we have something beyond. And I want to quote a sentence from Veda that is basically in Shvetasvatar Upanishad. In Shvetasvatar Upanishad, it is given that we should have knowledge. So, that means to synthesize science and spirituality, or to understand the physical world and what is spirituality, we should have knowledge. So, what knowledge we should have, that is very important. So, presently we are let us say studying in science a lot of things. In spirituality we understand many things, but we do not actually understand what we should know. Without knowing what we should know, we started acquiring knowledge about many different things which are not also useful. So, that is why I like to quote this Shvetasvatar Upanishad. This is basically 1.12. Etat Gyayam, that means Etat Gyayam. This is to be known. What is to be known? Nitya mevatma sanstham. Nitya, nityam, eva, atma sanstham. That means which or who is always staying with the Atma. So, who is always staying with Atma? That is, we we know. Yeah, Paramatma we say. Yeah. Then in the next sentence it says Natah Param Veditam Veditabyam Hi Kinchit. Nata Param Veditabyam Hi Kinchit. That means uske baad, after that there is nothing to be known. If you know who is staying always with us, it is not for such time, who is staying always with us in all situations, he is to be known. That knowledge we should have. Okay. In the next sentence it says Bhokta Bhogyam Preritabhyam Preritaram Chamatva. Okay, I read that again. Bhokta Bhogyam Preritaram Chamatva Sarbe Proktam Trividham Brahmam Etat. So that means Bhokta, he is the, who is the Bhokta, we should understand. That means the soul, who is enjoying Bhogyam, what he is, or soul, what soul is enjoying, that is Bhogyam. So, and then Preritaram, that means who is encouraging or who is giving us all this enjoyment, who is the person behind this enjoyment. He, I mean, these are the three aspects of Brahman that has to be known. So that means we should know three things. First, the Brahman, that means the Preritaram here, who encourages or who facilitates all these. Next, the Bhokta, the soul, and then that means the Jiva, and Bhogyam, that means what we are enjoying with. So this is basically the Prakriti. So that means we should know about these three things: Bhagavan or the Brahman, then the soul or the Jiva, and the Prakriti. In science, we are studying mostly about Prakriti, because we cannot go beyond Prakriti with the physical instruments. The physical instruments, what we use to study the physical world, they cannot sense beyond whatever their capability to sense. Yeah. So that means this in science we study only the Prakriti, nature, the physical world that we say. It is basically physical universe, whatever we see around us through our senses. So all these instruments we use has the capability to help our instruments, the indriyas. So here we need to understand the Bhagavan, Jiva, and the Prakriti. So in science domain, we study only about Prakriti, but in spirituality domain, we study about the God, the Preritaram that I told just now. So, but I mean, the Jiva is a combination of the Prakriti and a part of Lord. So that means the combination of science and spirituality to synthesize the Jiva, to know that is very, very important. That is why this knowledge about science and spirituality, that gives you the knowledge about the Jiva.
It's very interesting.
And the and the modern age is also very important here. So in modern age, we say science is progressing in a very rapid pace. But when you see the spirituality, it is not that in progress. But I mean, spirituality is the thing that stays as it is forever. So there is no degradation of the spirituality or there is no development. It is as it is. But the point here is we are not aware of all these things. So in the modern age, to live for the betterment of the mankind, we need to understand both science and spirituality and how to synthesize the knowledge so that the mankind will have a better place.
So you said that we are marginal, we are at the middle actually. By default, Atman is in the middle. So to know,
Jiva is
yeah,
not Atman. Atman is part of
spiritual,
part of God.
God, yeah.
But
As a Jiva, we are, yeah,
we are a combination of part of
material and spiritual. So by
part of
default,
God
the
as well as part
synthesis of
Prakriti.
science and spirituality is already
This is
there.
very
So yeah, actually, the scientists understanding these spiritual, aspects and going beyond the physical realities. How important, especially considering a current development and current times, even if you take the century, like the nuclear, 20th century, whatever happened, and also what is going to happen in 21st century is also very subtle. So for a scientist to going beyond the physical reality and understanding the spiritual aspects, how important it is and what is the benefit one gets out of it. Like, if scientist goes beyond the physical reality, as a humanity, how it is benefited?
Actually, if you see, everything starts from inquiry into the nature of reality. So today we have progressed in various fields of science, and of course, as a result of that, we have a lot of technological developments. So curiosity is very, very important, and a curious mind always want to inquire further and further. So now when we inquire into the nature of reality, like Dr. Balram said, there are certain aspects about this world, what we see, and the laws that govern this world. For example, Newton inquired like why apple is falling down. So this is inquisitive mind. That question came to him, though apple was falling down all the time, but he inquired about it. So inquiry is very fundamental, and what I see is, as we progress further and further, like you see in the field of consciousness studies, for example, we are now inquiring about where from the consciousness is originating. As a result of that, we are trying to deal with this problem through quantum physics and various other subjects. And then we are hitting a blocker now. And when we are not able to progress further in any field, that's where we turn towards alternative mechanisms, okay, or alternative solutions, philosophies. So when scientists now are not able to figure out where from this consciousness is originating, now the debates are starting with the spiritualists also to see whether we can learn anything from the spirituality. So it is the inquisitive mind. Definitely for both science and spirituality, inquiry is very fundamental. Only thing is, our inquiry should not stop with only the physical laws, okay. It should go beyond, and definitely I am sure with the progress of modern science, as we inquire further and further, we get into certain domains wherein we cannot answer them, and eventually we also may start embracing certain things from spirituality. And if you see in India, especially, there is a great harmony. Traditionally, if you see in our Vedic literature, we talk about Paravidya and Aparavidya. So, Paravidya means which is connected with myself, okay, is more subjective. Who am I? Or like Professor Balram said, like whether God exists or not. This comes under Para. Also, there is Aparavidya. Aparavidya means which talks about this material elements in this world, like and laws that govern these material elements. So, they are always, always in our in India especially, there existed a very harmonious relationship. There was a harmony between science and spirituality. So, Paravidya is spirituality and Aparavidya is science. And now with Western dominance actually, especially with science that says there is no knowledge beyond domain of rationality, we got into this problem. So, now coming to your question, with progress of science, I feel it will be imperative actually to embrace the elements of spirituality, and in that way when science and spirituality can go together, it will help the entire humanity not only to acquire knowledge, to also to bring in world peace and to know about ourselves and know about any intelligent being who exists, like beyond this all these material laws.
Yes, yes.
So, this is what I can think of.
Yeah, that was a really insight kind of thing. In India, actually, it is already synthesis of science and spirituality was happening, but for a period of time being, actually, it was there was a gap, and actually, currently, it is happening again back to where we were. So, I would like to ask Ajay Kumar on the same front that for a scientist in current situation, why these spiritual aspects, like as Prabhakar Bellapalli has mentioned that for a scientist it is very important. So, what do you think on the same note?
Well, very interesting questions. I will like to answer this from my background itself. Let's pick this mobile phone, right? What is the side here? Two side, right? Assume this like binary computing. So, this is screen side and this is the opposite side. You can see Apple symbol, right? So, binary is that either screen or back side. If I spin it, right? So, it is spinning. How many sides are there? Multiple, unlimited. While spinning it, and it is 3-dimensional, anywhere you can spin it. But how do I resolve the state? When I see the mobile, what I will see? Either screen side or this side. No matter wherever, whatever angle, I will see at a time only one side, right? Not two sides. So, observer is required. So, quantum computing qubit to resolve the accuracy, to resolve the state, we need that. Similarly, in quantum computing, you see the distance between two states. One state gives rise to the other state, no matter if it is beyond the speed of light also. So, how? Suppose you calculate the quantum speed. Light speed is suppose 3 into 10 to the power 6, right? When you talk about 10 to the power minus 6 second, quantum speed is even faster than that. How it is possible? So, what we see in quantum realm, that we know about speed of light, what is the fastest, and here quantum communication happens beyond the speed of light. How it is possible? So, here the observer is required. Suppose this superposition, wave collapse, how it happens? So, it need the definition of choice. A free will, a decision maker, an observer are very much important in this field. So, when we ignore the designer, the overseer, the person who has the intellectual ability to decide then we develop intelligence.
What is the benefit mankind derive out of it if one actually connect with spirituality?
Yeah, exactly. So here one thing is what we see in experiments, and other thing is that what we identify with experiencing it. So experimental and experiential. So two division of knowledge. When we combine both, then we get the answer of unlimited questions which we have.
So by getting the answer, what do you mean? Like, if someone gets an answer, does it make the living better, or does it benefit mankind?
Of course, like when you know the purpose of the atomic power, so you will be able to utilize it as per the purpose. But when you have not identified the purpose of atomic power, then what will happen? The present world is threatened with this atomic power. Unless a purpose is well defined, why we need scientific advancement, on what field and how to utilize. So answer of how and why, the combinations of both are essential for betterment of humanity. If you loses why, then how can be destructive?
Yeah, the effectiveness, the gravity, if you can, like, in terms of few examples, if you can, give us an insight that, if a community of scientists, group of people, or even a really genius scientist kind of a person, if he is touched with a purpose, kind of divinity, so how much it is going to affect to the current world in that scenario?
When you see, as I told just before, we acquire knowledge without knowing what is to be known, and why we should know that. So behind all our purposes or acquiring knowledge, it is the fact that we need Ananda everywhere in our life, all the time. That Ananda, happiness or Sukh, whatever we say, that we need. So that is behind all our exploration of the physical world or the spirituality. So when we need this, that is why when we need Ananda or we need happiness, we want to search where do we get this happiness from. So we have two things. As Jiva, we have access to Bhagavan, we have access to the Prakriti, the nature. Through science we study the nature. Through science of spirituality we study Bhagavan. But Veda says we can never know God fully with our senses and with our capability. But there is possibility that we can explore the nature and we can get some happiness. But the real happiness we don't get from real Ananda, we don't get from Prakriti, the Maya. Yeah. But real Ananda we get from God. Although, because we don't know what is to be known, that is why we go towards science. Let's say science has different fields, physics, chemistry, biology, everything is there. So we explore, okay, we study this, then we can invent something, then that will give us happiness. But as Prabhuji said, it has it is a sword with the edges on both sides. So that means it gives us happiness temporarily, which is not the Ananda, which is not the real happiness that we want. At some other time, it hurts.
So it is talking personal benefit. I would also like to understand what is the society at large get benefited out of it. Like let's say you invented something, and you know that the effect on the society, the application.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling here. So, let's say, Prabhuji said we need atom bombs. Why do we need atom bombs? Because we want our self-happiness. The other people may die, but we need our self-happiness. That's why we created atom bombs. Yeah. But that is not the real happiness. This is not happiness for everyone. Yeah. So scientifically, whatever we are studying the physical world. Different fields are there, and
So how does it change when?
that's what because we study only the physical world through science. It doesn't give us permanent happiness. Temporarily, it gives us some happiness, and as time progresses, we are accustomed with that happiness, and that doesn't appear as happiness further. So that is not the real happiness. So because we don't know our real source, that is why we are searching happiness in the scientific world. That is the Prakriti. And Prakriti is always temporary. It doesn't give us happiness permanently. So we should change our search towards.
So you mean to say for a peaceful world and for a happiness at large and also for a self, the spirituality is the way forward. It's very
Exactly,
interesting.
because happiness, the exact definition of happiness is basically which gives us happiness and all the time, always, and it gives happiness for everyone. So God can give happiness to everyone.
So it's very clear
But when
that
we explore Prakriti,
yeah.
Prakriti cannot give happiness.
Yeah.
It gives happiness to me, but on the other side, it gives distress to you.
So it's very clear that it's very important considering the science and spirituality synthesis. The professor is saying it is for a self and for a society at large. It is very important. So considering this fact, what are the important kind of activities for a spiritualist or for a scientist? One can conduct or one can participate for the such cause. What are the simple things or activities that can be developed?
Yeah, once we understand this importance, like Dr. Balram was talking about how it will help one to have constant happiness. If we understand the importance of this dialogue, then at a individual level, we can also try to understand first of all what is spirituality, because many times spirituality is misunderstood.
Yeah.
And Bhaktivedanta Institute is conducting lot of seminars and also workshops to give some basic knowledge to understand what is spirituality. So at individual level, one can understand first of all what is spirituality, and then also become part of uh, this science and spirituality interface in conducting the seminars or workshops to really promote this in a bigger way in the society. But it has to start with ourselves, ourselves to understand what is science, what is spirituality, and how it benefits. When I become more enthusiastic, because when I experience myself the fruits of it, then I become naturally inclined and enthusiastic to really give this to others also. So that's where we can also become instrumental in helping others who are conducting the programs on science and spirituality, like any seminars or workshops or conferences, and then we can take it forward to really give this knowledge to everybody, such that everybody in the world overall can be peaceful and happy. So this is the whole idea.
Yes. So next, I would like to ask Ajay Kumar Sahu that does it like sufficiently happening in the current scenario in the world we see the activities, the science and spirituality, or we are lacking behind, considering the fact that the effectiveness it has and the kind of things needs to be done? Are we falling behind certain activities, and should we catch up, or like what is the dangers behind those things to the context?
Srila Prabhupada started this by entrusting this duty to Dr. Singh. We both, Prabhakar and myself, are trained by him. Dr. Singh started this in 1980s, the consciousness study, life come from life. There are many conferences happened. It is a pioneer effort by Dr. Singh, and going forward we have a global reach right now all over the world. However, we need speed up. We need more global outreaches, more global delivery, like global research centers, and more ethics, values, and academic curricula, and this kind of podcast, which is global outreach through media. These are very essential actually, because it is urgent. This is not that we can take this kind of science spirituality with luxury, but it is an urgent to make everyone happy, to make everybody understand the meaning and purpose behind what they work for. We cannot neither bring a person happy nor bring a holistic development. We have development in some area, but certain times these developments causes lots of distractions and destructions. Destructions, both are happening because of lacking the spiritual advancement. So I feel that more global outreaches are required through academic and through media. At least if both academics and media work together, then more scientific minded people are assisted with spiritual elevated people. Together they work and synthesize, and that will bring definitely the lasting peace and development.
So there was a clear gap, we can say, in past centuries in the scientific and academic world about the spirituality, especially when it comes to India, right? So currently in recent times, you know better because you work at IISc and you meet a lot of scientist people, what's happening, you know the insights. So is it currently kind of going towards spirituality flourishing back to the roots, or where we are currently? So give us a little bit picture on that.
Yeah, thank you. So here, people, there are different fields in science where people do different research in different areas. I'll speak about this using some examples. For example, let's say we do research on quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, we have time and speed of light, because in quantum mechanics, when you go to the quantum scale, that means very small scale, we have electrons, we have atoms, and those electrons are not at rest. They are moving at a very high speed, close to the speed of light. So, in this way, when we see what will be the maximum speed that we can achieve. Till now, when you see Einstein's discovery about mass energy relation and his verification of the speed of light, constancy of the speed of light, those are very important concepts. So light speed is constant in all inertial frame of references, if you see. And when we see all events, they travel at the speed of light, because we use our eyes to see the events. So there is no other way we can see the events happening. So, if we want to understand any event that can travel more than speed of light, then we cannot use our eyes to understand what is the event occurring beyond the speed of light. So speed of light is the ultimate one. That is the maximum speed till now it is discovered. So, but I mean, when we see at a quantum scale, we don't deal on the present, past time. Time, I mean, this we can see when the quantum objects are entangled, something is happening here at let's say far away from this place. Something else is happening, but that can happen beyond. I mean, when something is happening, some other place, some other event is happening, but they are entangled. If this happens, some event happens here at certain time, that event can happen immediately. So that means beyond the speed of light, something.
So does it
is
butterfly
happening.
effect you are talking?
Sorry.
Butterfly effect? Something termed as a butterfly effect is what?
It is not a butterfly effect. It is basically the causality, so beyond causality. So that means if anything happens here, if we are far away from this place, we will see this is happening only when light reaches us. Okay, but in the quantum entanglement, the event happening here, that affects the event which is far away from this place, where light cannot reach at that time.
So you mean to say that it has become necessity rather?
No, that is why, I mean, in spirituality, we deal with even the objects which travel faster than speed of light. For example, mind. Mind can travel faster than speed of light. If something is happening here, we can immediately think about our mind. We can put our mind far away from. We can get this input from the spirituality that instead of using light, if you can use the power of mind, then we can understand the things better.
Is it always the case that development of quantum field has popped up this thing, or it was always the case like in 17th or 18th century or way backwards? Does it like apply now more than ever, or how does it relatively?
As I told, let's say the science is developing day by day. But spirituality, the aspects, those are constant. Let's say Vedas, the Puranas or the Bhagavad Gita, those were, Vyasadeva has written, compiled. So those about 5,000, more than 5,000 years back. But there is no change in the concepts present there. But scientific concepts are developing day by day. So some concepts, let's say, which are proved to be wrong, those are let's say somehow not considered. But when there is more scientific development, then people try to understand the newer aspects, and that way the scientific world is progressing that way. But I mean, the main point is the spirituality concepts. Those can help us in understanding the scientific world better, because in scientific world we deal with only the material objects.
Yeah, to connect the dots, I would say that it has become a necessary, especially in the recent discoveries and recent inventions, for a scientist to look forward and look to the side of the spirituality. Yes. It's very interesting, and I would like to come back to Prabhakar sir, that scientists' mind think very differently, right? Like they are very inquisitive in nature. So in such condition where they strike the ceiling, and where they cannot go beyond, how does it one develop faith in that conjunction, in that a point? What happens to a scientist, and how does scientist mind works, and where the faith plays in those scenarios?
Normally, if you see, inquisitiveness or curiosity is common between both scientists and spiritualists. The difference is scientists mostly think rationally, like, or objectively. It's called objective science. So that means I should see some repeatability in the experiments what I am conducting, and then I conclude. Okay. So now we are coming to other domains wherein it is becoming difficult to predict. For example, when you talk about Schrodinger wave equations, so many possibilities. Okay. And certain other aspects of science also, when we are progressing further, we are understanding slowly that objective thinking is correct to certain extent, but beyond that, like, you have to really accept or embrace certain other things which are beyond rationality also. For example, even in the science, okay, whatever we have discussed about Darwin's theory, or otherwise, even when we thought about, like, quantum Newtonian mechanics, like, when we have followed this Newtonian mechanics, like, definitely, or otherwise, you see, we leave about Newtonian mechanics. When you talk about Darwin theory, and also when we talk about the origin of universe, Big Bang theory, there is no proof, okay, right? But then we accepted those things. That means even in science, we are trying to accept certain things with a faith. Okay. Now, when I come to certain challenges wherein I cannot be very objective, where I cannot think only rationally, I have to raise myself. Okay. Then when I look at it, okay, I may look from a different perspective, and then I may start embracing spirituality, and then it may help me to progress further. Okay. For example, you talk about imaginary numbers, all these things. We don't know what is imaginary number, right? But still we talk about imaginary numbers because these imaginary numbers are helping, and there are many mathematical axioms where like, we don't have proofs. So but then we are accepting certain things. So coming to your question, that means as a scientist, when I progress further in my research, when I encounter a problem which I cannot solve with the current set of rules in mathematics and all, then automatically I will think about other alternative paradigms and then go further. That's where I think like we can embrace spirituality. And also it's like when scientists invent something or discover some things, what happens is at that point of time when we got that new thought, okay, where from it came, okay, some people call it as intuition or like inspiration, so many words are used. But then there are many scientists who say that even though they were constantly thinking about solving a problem, but at that moment something like struck them, okay, and then suddenly they got the solution. So by like doing proper research and also by through our discoveries, by accepting certain things beyond rationality, we can go further. So this is what I can think of.
So you mean to say that it's a personal experience?
It's a personal experience. Yeah.
And like even though they have expressed in many platforms, the scientists, that the inspiration they have gotten, and I think we need to throw a more light on it. If in case we can actually look into the T.D. Singh's books also, that we can see a lot of scientists expressing themselves where they
correct. There are many Nobel laureates who expressed about how suddenly, miraculously, mysteriously, certain solution appeared, like to their intellect, okay, and they could solve that problem. So these things are there in Bhaktivedanta Institute books actually.
Yes, yes. So in the same discussion, what's your thought on the spiritual world and the scientific world, and where they meet, and what happens to a person who is in that journey when that happens?
Yeah, scientist rationally thinks, So, in objective manner, whatever experiments outcomes he gets, but when to get some conclusive idea or whatever observations, there are many unanswered questions. And until we go to the depth of the science, until we study the fundamental natures, we cannot get these answers. So, with objective ways like the fundamental aspects of consciousness, or you go to life sciences, origin of the universes, until we get answer to these questions, we cannot get the real observations. So, for that the facility is required for scientists to understand the spiritual paradigm and include the unanswered questions by taking a new domain, which Einstein does, Schrödinger and great like Max Planck, all other great scientists, they have accepted the Eastern thought, and while they included Western and Eastern thought, synthesized that, they become a great scientist like Einstein, Schrödinger. So, it is very much required that present scientific community get a broader sense of understanding and the knowledge. So, knowledge can be inferred, knowledge can be logical, knowledge can include the epistemology and ontology. This should include science, philosophy and spirituality, because I am a conscious being. When I do active researches, I come across many experiences, and that experiences not only lead me to be a successfully discovery, as well as in my established life I am peaceful, whatever, because of these experiences only, right? I myself having the consciousness. So, how can I ignore consciousness? So, similarly, there are many such fields which will be answered through the Vedic paradigm or any other field, any other religions. So, broad-mindedness and inquiry, youth, the scientists or young students, they should be very inquisitive. They should not leave the fundamental questions. If we leave the fundamental questions, then problems are there in the bigger. In surface level we may resolve, but at the deeper level we will not be able to resolve it. So, we need both spirituality and science.
Sir, actually the scientist mind think differently than other things. I was going through your profile, the long list of your achievements, and that says itself that you are very inquisitive. You go very deeper and to the research, right? So sometimes you can't help it, the way you are built yourself. If you, if as an observer, if we see the general public and very few scientists, and they have kind of thinking pattern and the kind of lifestyle is very different, right? So how does this very inquisitive and not believing without any proof, such kind of things, and the faith are two different things, and what happens if they meet, and where is the meeting point for a scientist, and can you throw a light on the minds of a scientist basically?
Yeah, thank you. As you said, I don't feel I'm a great scientist. I'm like normal, ordinary people. Yeah, but anyway, this inquisitiveness makes me actually strong. Yeah. I can understand that, but this word you said, faith, faith is actually a very spiritual word. The first word that you can say in spirituality is the faith. Yeah. But I mean, this in the scientific world, we need this faith, because when we see, starting from origin of the universe, spirituality always is the basis of scientific phenomena. So let's say there are lots of examples on this. Without the spirituality basis, we don't have scientific discoveries. Scientific discoveries and spirituality tells about the initial point and the final point, and in between we try to understand everything what happens scientifically. Yeah. For example, the universe is created. Yeah. We don't, in spirituality, we cannot understand only with spirituality how it is created and where it will end. Scientifically also we cannot understand properly, because our lifespan is very limited, and universe creation and destruction, the lifespan is too long. In this case, when you have spirituality only, that tells universe is created, but scientifically we try to understand how it is created. So the spirituality tells only it is created, but it doesn't tell how it is created. Let's say God, universe ko prakat kiye. Yeah, universe is exposed by God, but it doesn't tell how God brought this universe into picture. Yeah. So how this time transforms everything, how all the phenomena, that doesn't tell spirituality. Through scientific experiments we understand, okay, this is the law that governs. Then we incorporate this law and spiritual knowledge, then we understand it better. So that's why from the beginning of the universe and the beginning of our creation, the jivas, always spirituality helps in science. So science alone cannot exist without spirituality. So spiritual concepts we need always, but in spiritual concepts everything is not known. And through our scientific understanding, we try to understand, let's say, laws of nature, all the natural laws, all the forces. Spirituality doesn't say about what is the force or what, everything is not there. Through the exploration of the universe, the universal phenomena, and through experiments and understandings, knowledge put in those experimental understandings. So that gives us the knowledge how the universe or how the things might have created. So for the complete understanding of the any phenomena, whether it's scientific or spiritual, we need a combination of scientific as well as spiritual concepts. Spiritual, no spiritualist by his own power, as I said, has understood God. And I would say 99.99, how many nines you can put in, it doesn't matter. Those many people that don't understand God at all. Only one person who understands God. He is the God himself. So whatever effort we put, we cannot understand spirituality fully. Also, we cannot understand the scientific phenomena fully. So through the experiments with hit and trial and different concepts we get, we try to make a theory scientifically how this might have happened.
Nice to hear a lot of insights about spirituality from a scientific background that you have, and it's very surprising to see the insights of spirituality coming out of the scientist, the person, the professor you are. Let's again speak about the people you are talking. So let's redirect the same direction of our conversation to actually when it comes to seeing all these scientists also giving such an insight to the spiritualists. What are the key people who, if you can remember, who actually successfully synthesized this science and spirituality in India especially?
Yeah, if you say one person I can quote, it's not like he wanted to synthesize, but he demonstrated himself. One very famous personality is Srinivas Ramanujan. He is a very achieved personality in mathematics. If you see his life, he has not gone through the formal education system the way we are trained in mathematics, and but then uh, by 12 or 13 he could solve majority of the problems in mathematics, and also whatever theorems he proposed, in the scientific circles we say it is out of intuition, and in the spiritual circles we say it is the mercy of God. But whatever theorems he proposed, actually they are beyond the understanding of many other scientists those times. But then now we are understanding, like about his kind of contributions, or the intellectual contributions which are far superior to others. And I feel, this kind of people really demonstrated how by being spiritual, okay, naturally, uh, they can really do some miracles. Okay, this is one personality. And when Dr. T.D. Singh visited Bangalore around 2003 or 4 time frame, I don't remember exactly. Other person, who spoke about this, how science and spirituality should go together, is Penrose. Penrose, he came to a conference here, and Dr. T.D. Singh also was there, and he also came to Bangalore. And Penrose, in many of his books, he says current mathematics, or otherwise overall the current science, uh, you know cannot solve certain problems. Okay, and especially he was talking about consciousness, how using current science we cannot explain the consciousness. So he was talking about how we should have a different science. Okay, he used to tell that many places that, we have to have a different science, okay, which should include certain attributes of spirituality, certain elements of spirituality. That means the scientific domain in which we are may not be in a position to answer everything. For example, in his words, consciousness cannot be explained maybe with current science, but then you require, a different science, okay, a new science, he used to tell. And that new science maybe, can have some elements of spirituality where consciousness can be explained. So this is what I saw from Penrose books, and when he presented many places also, and when he came to Bangalore also, he was talking about a new science which includes consciousness. So these are the some of the people I can think of, one who demonstrated really, okay, and other person like Penrose, who is trying, okay, to really propose certain things to bring in this new science. Okay.
Penrose and Ramanujam is a very quite a good kind of profile. The living that they lived itself gives a glimpse of how they lived synthesis of science and spirituality. So in your understanding, who actually has been a personality who's synthesized the science and spirituality?
Einstein, Schrödinger, Max Planck, Niels Bohr, and J.C. Bose from India, and Dr. Singh. So they are the pioneer. Dr. Singh is the pioneer. But from the 19th centuries, Einstein and then Schrödinger, they all included. Schrödinger included Vedanta in his research. So this is required, that these top scientists have given us this idea to include new science. This word coined by Penrose and Dr. Singh presented new science to answer these questions on consciousness and many other, like origin of life.
Yeah. What about the new science? The term, is it valid in in current scientific field, or what's the discussion going on about the topic called new science?
So there is nothing like new science. Every day the discoveries are kind of exposing what is the idea behind all those. Yeah. So, I mean, if you see, starting from very beginning, yeah, so we, as told, it is, let's say, Einstein's discovery gives us a lot of idea about the material world. So, this idea separated the material world from the spiritual world. Otherwise, we cannot understand what is spiritual and what is material stuff. But I mean, above all, this science and spirituality are not two different words. This is a single word, but separated according to certain concepts. You know. So, I mean, when you see this Einstein's discoveries, when we understand the light speed is the same, and that is the maximum speed that material can travel, or light itself, massless things can travel. So that means beyond that we cannot go. So before that, the spirituality concept of time was also, the speed was not properly understood in spirituality. Because after the discovery, we know the things which can travel at the speed of light is the light itself, and beyond that, whatever remained can be understood not through our senses, but through the spirituality. So how do we understand spirituality in that case? So we have to understand the other scientists, let's say the uncertainty principle of Heisenberg. So because when we say the wave particle duality of de Broglie, yeah, so in that case, this wave and particle means it has a definite position. Wave is not definite, it has some wavelength. So within that wavelength, if the particle size is less than this wavelength size, then we cannot tell exactly where this particle is, because we use light itself to understand the position. There is no other means we can understand the position of an object. So because of that, light itself carries this uncertainty. And light travels, let's say, at the speed of light. If some event happens at the speed which is beyond the speed of light, that event we cannot capture. Even in our eyes, we see things. Let's say I can see things 1/16 of a second. Time scale, whatever happens. But beyond 1/16 of a second, we cannot understand if that happened or not. Similarly, we use light, and using light we use other detectors, and the speed of those detectors is below the speed of light. So if something happens beyond the speed of light, we cannot understand that. Yeah. So let's say for about the understanding of the space. We understand space can be anywhere. Yeah, that means space can be like God; it can go everywhere. But God, let's say the spiritual entities, those are even thinner than space itself. Yeah, so that means we can understand the up to space. Let's say what we say the ether or the Panchabhutas, the thinnest is the sky or ether, and even ether is within the material stuff. Yeah, but spirituality, as Krishna said always, it is beyond this bhutas, Panchabhutas. So that means we can understand, we can see the objects. In these objects, we can understand space can be inside these objects also. Similarly, we can interpolate that God is present everywhere within the space also. So that means all these scientific discoveries gives the clear idea about our understanding of spiritual.
Thing is, even if the most of the scientists are culturally inclined, they're musicians, they do a lot of involvement in the arts, paintings, those things. So when you are synthesizing the science and spirituality as in the kind of a cause or something, then I think there are many innovative activities that can be facilitated. Example, involving in lot of shows. Let's say that Ranganiketan is one of the innovative idea from TD Singh. So when those kind of activities, innovative, given or facilitated to the scientific community, there comes also an attraction towards beyond certain physical realm. That can be also called as new science, and it's always been mysterious. And how important it is to innovate those things around a scientific community and bring lot of culture and art essence to it, in your words.
Yeah, definitely. As Bhaktivedanta Institute, we are trying to provide various platforms for the scientists. If you see regularly, we are conducting certain conferences and seminars and also workshops where scientists can participate and then present their ideas, and spiritualists also present their ideas. So all these things act as a platform wherein both scientists and spiritualists can come together and debate or discuss and then learn from each other. The other aspect you are bringing is very interesting. So Dr. T.D. Singh, he also asked, some of us to have a kind of martial arts program or a music program, some cultural program with conference, such that the scientists who are having inclination towards these things, they can also participate in those things, or otherwise, when the spiritualists perform these things,
They enjoy.
they can enjoy. So one aspect is intellectual aspects, intellectual aspect, but the other aspect is like you were saying about arts, music, all these things, right, in general. Okay. So this also we have to imbibe slowly, wherein people who can perform these things can come and meet either spiritualists or scientists, such that they can also take forward these things. They can also get benefited and take forward these things.
Exactly.
So innovation here is, it's mostly about thinking process, right? How new type of events we can have to bring everybody together and have this exchange of knowledge. That's what is innovation here. And definitely we are open to some of the inputs to have such kind of new innovative thoughts, wherein we can bring both scientists, academicians and spiritualists, everybody, both scientists and spiritualists, or academicians and spiritualists together, to see this exchange of thoughts flow further and further.
Yes. Actually, recently I saw one video of ISKCON conducting in Poland. It happens every year, yearly event, where they conduct these stage shows. And it's a huge, it's probably Indradimna Maharaj, leading that. It's a huge platform where Indian culture and exhibition and theater, play and pottery, artworks, a lot of people comes. I think you've been to this Puri recently, the World Peace thing. So how innovative one should be, in conducting those kind of events for a scientist, especially because of the nature of the institute you belong.
Like art, culture, sculptures, what we are trained in our family background, that connects us. How we feel spirituality. when we listen to the music that we like, when we listen to something which raise devotional feel, inspirations and emotions in us that connect us. How we get connected to God?
Yeah.
Through art, through culture, through the exhibitions of many kind of dramas. So like we have emotions, right? We are emotional beings. So when we see that, how a devotee or how a scientist get inspired by God through his work, or a devotee get inspired by God, then the emotions, the tears, the joys that we experience that connect us to spirituality. So these are certain practical aspects. So not only the conferences, seminars, but the spiritual facilities that is promoted in our scriptures. When we practice, it is not only Bhagavad paradigm, but also any other religious paradigm that connects people, and that connects people in social framework and in as a whole global framework. So we need art, culture that promote values in us. When we love each other, serve each other, how we can do that unless we connected ourselves in some art, culture and social gatherings through musics. So these are the platforms, and it is essential that when we try to establish values and connectedness among ourselves, then we should promote this kind of spiritual experiences, events among each other through outreaches. So these outreaches are very much required,
Yeah.
even in while doing seminar conferences. These are presented by our spiritual mentor, Dr. Singh.
Actually, if you look this very strong spiritual, side, otherwise there are also a light side to it, like cultural programs. Let's say it invites people to look into the spirituality. At least it's a long journey. Spirituality is a long journey, but at least in the beginning, some amusement. Let's say innocent amusement, that you see something and you like it, and then you go forward, you at least you take a one step forward to a long journey. So in IISc, I see lot of activities, and also a lot of scientists also inclined to lot of cultural programs, those in terms. Do you also practice some of those, or do you see some of your colleagues involved in cultural programs, and how does the scene in the IISc?
Yeah, very interesting question. Yeah, there are a lot of cultural programs happening in IISc. This is basically to, make us fresh for the new scientific understandings. Because when we work for, let's say, 8 hours, 10 hours every day, sometimes because we are not getting happiness, we get hatredness towards those work. So in that way, scientific community cannot develop. So these cultural programs, they freshen again our mind and thoughts, everything, for the work towards again scientific discoveries. So these are very important events, and those should be conducted time to time.
Yeah.
Unless one practices spirituality, then he gets happiness from the spiritual aspects. Then for them, it is not necessary to have.
Following question, like to adding to the same page, when we come to the new media technology, currently the new media is evolving, and the Indian culture catching up and adding the content in those platforms, like a biography of a Acharya or a cultural essence. Those things, documentation, or in a kind of very entertaining way. What do you think, where is the future and where we are now?
Yeah, especially if you see traditional sciences, Vedic sciences, they mostly talk about personal connect. So, if you see in general, there is a kind of hesitation to get into media because in the media sometimes what you speak and what other person understands, there can be a huge gap which can be bridged easily by some kind of personal connect. So, if you see definitely who are coming from traditional backgrounds and who are used to this kind of personal, getting the personal training or hearing directly from the authorities, they may have some kind of hesitation. But at the same time, I think people are also starting to appreciate about how certain things can be done through media, okay. And like for example, you take some subject matter, okay, maybe to go in depth and present in a media may be difficult without a personal connect, but then some idea can be given in general, and then through the media when the people can get connected, then we can present more deeper aspects. So though coming to your question, though there is a hesitation, okay, from especially traditionally trained people in terms of giving this knowledge through media and all, but we are making some baby steps. I see many schools now coming together to go a little bit further in social media and all, and to give certain aspects. But still from my side, if you ask me, my humble opinion is definitely after getting this knowledge through media, one should take some personal training, which is very, very essential. Just like in yoga system, for example, you want to learn some asanas, of course you can see in YouTube or Facebook and try to maybe practice, okay. But if you want to perfect, okay, then definitely you should approach a person who knows this art of performing the yoga system. So that means that personal connect is very, very important, and this is very central to our Gurukul system. So combining both, what I want to convey is media should definitely help in terms of promoting these things, and people also should give some knowledge, definitely, and then later on people should not take that as the all in all, right. That should help them to get some kind of little bit knowledge and faith to connect personally, and then really receive that knowledge properly. Otherwise what happens, there can be lot of problems, just like in, if you are learning some yoga or asanas in general by seeing a YouTube channel or something, and then you are practicing without a guide, personal guide who can correct you, then if you are not practicing it properly, you may be doing some mistakes. If nobody is there to correct, then you may take that as right thing, and your health may go down by doing like that. That means because you are not doing properly, your health itself is deteriorating, and you may probably start again uh, transferring or broadcasting that what you are doing to others, which will go in the wrong way. So that's why
It's a reverse effect.
it's a reverse effect. So that's why one should be very careful what to accept from media. Definitely something should be there in the media. Just like I will give another example. There are many medicines. If you go and search, like in the Google for like certain diseases, there are many medicines prescribed, and they give the contents, everything. But also there is a star mark. Okay, what is that? Though you can take this medicine, for example, we are getting fever, maybe we can take some general medicine, but if it is not reducing after 1 or 2 days, you must see doctor. In fact, for certain medicines it is mentioned you should not take without prescription of doctor. So this is very, very important. Conditions apply always. So that even though media, definitely I appreciate, and many things are possible, media should play a major role in bringing science and spirituality together, but ultimately to really practice it properly, people have to, like, come personally, attend certain programs and learn to broadcast this proper message to the next generations. This is my humble opinion.
Yeah, it's very challenging.
It's very challenging.
And it's very trained people. Actually, it's very essential to get trained.
Yes.
And it can be effective and only can be applied once the person is trained. Otherwise, everyone and everybody can do it.
Correct. So that thin line, like which separates, like where really you have to go personally, that's very, very important.
Very important, yeah.
Otherwise, like things may go in the wrong direction also.
Exactly. So thus we see lot of content nowadays in YouTube, and lot of overpower, like it's a lot of information. But quality is also, when we go for a mass production, the quality reduces. And currently there are not many people are very equipped with the effective communication, and because of lack of training, as sir told, lack of proper applications. So how one should be careful about it, especially in the time of new media, in your understanding?
Yeah, I agree with Prabhakar sir. For spirituality, we need more personal connection and personal guide. However, things is that we need to convert the threats to opportunity, distraction to attractions, and where is weakness, that can be converted to strength. That is the power of spirituality. So social media is the source of distractions, source of weakness, and when these media like podcast, whatever we are doing, if they facilitate spiritual things to the mind of these people, what will happen? First of all, they will get a replacement. So there was something else, and now they have got something else. Not only that, while watching them, gradually they will develop inspiration to meet that person. Otherwise, who will know where is Prabhakar? Right? But when they hear about Prabhakar, they will also like to meet Prabhakar. So that is the way actually. So in our corporate world, we have to identify where are the threats. Can we convert that threats to opportunity? Not only we mitigate that threats, but we will convert that threat to opportunity. So I feel that is the scope for media, especially we from Bhaktivedanta Institute should facilitate that to these young minds, so that they get the benefit out of it.
Sir, do you see content on social media?
Yeah, I often see YouTube, but I don't look at the scientific stuff. Yeah. I often look at, let's say, spiritual gurus, let's say. I look at, let's say, Premanand Maharaj, and then Priyasaranji Maharaj, or similar. There are other also Bhagavad Gita classes they give. Bhagavatam classes. I look at all those. So those are very, very important and very interesting. That inspires us for the spirituality. But in general, also this media is very important. But one has to see the genuineness of the media. So there are a lot of content. As you can have a lot of people speaking different things. Maybe they are speaking according to their situation, and their everything can be correct also. But what is applied to us is very important, and choice of that part is very important. Let's say you can have one Diksha Guru, but you can have hundreds of Siksha Gurus also. So you cannot say that I didn't learn from this person, I didn't learn from this person. I learned from everyone. Like, let's say, Avadhuta has many gurus. Yeah. So from all objects, all jivas, he learned something. So that is very important. So media actually spreads all this knowledge, but the important point is we should pick up the knowledge which is important for us. We should not. I mean, there are also some content which are not really true. Yeah. So such kind of things we should avoid.
So that means filtering becomes very important.
Yeah, filtering
Yeah.
is
When the person is not mature to filter
Yeah.
what is right and wrong,
yeah.
sometimes
No,
it
then
can
comes,
go wrong.
and also,
Yes.
I mean, Prabhuji gave some small example. This is applicable only for the health. But if you go to any yogis, they don't care. I mean, whether they do exercise or they don't do exercise, it doesn't matter. They are at the upper level.
Other-
So they know how to control their body. So for them, it is not important. But when we are starting from the beginning, that becomes very important. Yeah.
So, sir, coming back to the science and spirituality, like when you are involved in acting upon certain activities or conducting some events for the cause, for the betterment of mankind, can you give us what drives you and what is the kind of example that kind of stand out and you enjoy? If you can throw some light onto those things.
Yeah, what drives me is the personality Dr. T.D. Singh, his magnanimity and his personality, divine personality, that drives me always. When I was in IIT Kanpur, I had this great fortune of meeting Dr. T.D. Singh. Then one thing Dr. T.D. Singh always was thinking is how to help especially younger generation. Because today if you see, we have a lot of problem, especially you can take anger levels or emotional levels, they are too high. Many ways we can see younger generation. Of course, there are many positive things, but I am talking about certain aspects where we have to improve, like where we are imbalanced. Okay, so and there is so much stress on everybody. So Dr. T.D. Singh always felt that we should help this younger generation, and whenever we are doing our activities, we see how to make them attractive, how we can bring younger generation into our activities, mainly to benefit them. Because if our younger generation, the next generation people are taking this spirituality and science together in a holistic way, if they can see the things, then definitely there will be great personalities going ahead, and then with individuals and with society filled with such kind of gems, okay, wonderful personalities, you can see a great India going ahead. In that way we can contribute to the entire world also. So what drives me, of course, this is the desire of Dr. T.D. Singh to give this science and spirituality interface, to everybody. Okay, and the satisfaction that we get is, like when somebody's life is transformed. Okay, just like I will tell one small thing. We gave a lecture maybe around 2006 or 7 time frame in Hyderabad, and then there was a student, who was in 4th year. He was going through a lot of emotional stress due to family situation and all, and he was in a very difficult situation which we were not aware. But after giving this seminar on science and spirituality, then when I visited for the next lecture, at that point of time the student came to me and told personally, sir, you helped me so much. Okay, I was about to commit suicide. This is what he told me exactly. And head of the department from Usmania University, I think, they came and they met and told, we should have such kind of lectures very frequently. And that boy, was showing lot of gratitude, and he was actually ready to conduct more programs because he got benefited. So when we see people getting benefited through this dialogue interface of science and spirituality, that gives us satisfaction, and that again drives us further, that yes, even though we are doing in a humble way, it is benefiting the people, and that is also the desire of Dr. T.D. Singh.
Amazing, amazing. So, do you come across any experience that you feel, or what motives? Because as Sir told, the impacts, and also he has an affection for his mentor. So, combining together actually is what is saying like about you. What you can share about the same.
Yeah, same thing. We both are trained by Dr. Singh, so we are very much attracted the way he lives, the intellectual humility, what he inspired all of us. One event I can mention here. In one of the conference where a neuroscientist was listening, at that time I was presenting about the consciousness paradigm from Vedanta, and I was talking about the various degrees of consciousness covered, shrunken, budding. Especially I was giving the Bhagavad Gita 3.38 example. Dhumena vriyate vanni is like budding consciousness, it's human being. Then jatha darso malena cha, just like glass is covered with dust. This is like a shrunken consciousness, like bird and beasts. Then ullena avruta garbhajatha. In the womb of the mother, the baby is covered. So similarly, plant and trees, their consciousness are covered. After the talk, when he met me, he told, yeah, we wanted such framework to explain this consciousness, like studying consciousness from plant is an amazing area. He was doing active research on that. So these things actually scientists they look for. Unless we do such seminar conferences, so what is there in the Vedanta paradigm and what is present at the modern science, when they combines this new science, create bigger, wider terms to understand the present science. So I am very much happy that we should do this noble work, like conferences, seminar, publication, podcasts, more and more to facilitate these minds to bring a change in the world.
Sir, how do you connect it to spirituality, your story, if you can give an example?
Yeah, so I mean, from the childhood itself, I was very inquisitive. God's grace, slowly and slowly I could understand the phenomena in nature, etc. And I mean, on the process, I try to understand also spirituality. So because at home we had different pujas and different gods are there. So I mean, I because of my inquisitiveness, I try to understand things a bit deeper. I mean, I was never get satisfied, even if I understood something. So I go word by word, even letter by letter, to understand what is deep inside. Yeah. So in that way, I mean, I started with that, and
Where did it take the leap? Where did it transformed? That's every natural Indians have. But where did it take a leap of faith?
There is no such leap of faith change.
Oh, is it?
So it started gradually.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you see this spiritual connection, that increased more when I read Bhagavad Gita, and when I heard about Shankaracharya's Sankhya explanation of the Sankhya philosophy. I mean, although his Advaitavad, we don't know, I mean, because he was at the beginning, he gave this Advaitavad. And there are other experiences, spiritual experiences that led us to Daitva and other Chintaveda tattvas. But I mean, initially he gave the explanation of the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is basically understanding the natural stuff, whatever other things there. And slowly and slowly I I mean, I read this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, then I read also this Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So all these gave us very much, elevated.
Don't you think it's unconventional compared to other traditions, because kind of there is no way that there is no.
It depends on your understanding. The traditions, what they follow, their understanding, they don't want to improve in their understanding. So they follow in the same way what they are doing. But in that way, you cannot understand the basics of everything, which is the God Himself. Yeah? So, slowly and slowly, as I said, there was no sudden change in the.
It's a gradual process. So, yeah, it's very interesting to know your journey, sir. About the Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore, especially the activity that it conducts and the past activities and the present, and what are the vision for a Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore, where it is going, and can you throw some light on it?
Yeah, so we are conducting some seminars and conferences and workshops from almost 2005 or 6 time frame, and we want to take forward this activity with more vigor and also with full speed in the coming days. So, next in the coming months we want to have All India Student Conference Science and Spiritual Question Bangalore, AISSQ, one of the national conferences of Bhaktivedanta Institute. So, that will be upcoming event. But beyond that, I want to see that a pool of scientists and spiritualists come together and debate on various fields of science. And I liked Dr. Shishir Rai, the way he is conducting certain workshops and all. And as Bhaktivedanta Institute, we want to definitely have such kind of debates, workshops, wherein we can bring in scientists and spiritualists and have some very productive discussion. This is one of the aspects we are focusing on. The other aspect is with respect to the research. So, in certain areas, especially even one of the professors, I think Ramakrishna from IISc, he has done certain experiments on effect of sound and also the meditation, mantra meditation and all on body and mind. And also there are other areas like Ayurveda, the Sanskrit, so there are many subject matters even on consciousness studies. So, we want to have some small research groups going ahead, wherein they focus on particular area and then study scientifically and spiritually and contribute, and these small research groups can present in conferences and also can publish certain papers. So, this is one of the areas we are thinking of focusing in the coming years. And then apart from that, we also want to have some workshops for school children, because especially in India, many follow traditionally certain practices and all, but connecting to modern science is becoming difficult. So, I was thinking maybe if some workshops can be conducted and where students are allowed to come up with certain demonstrations on science and spirituality, maybe certain simple model or some kind of small experiment, some kind of a demonstration, what I am working sample, or prototype, using science and spirituality. It may actually bring in lot of enthusiasm in student community, especially at a younger age, or at the age of school, wherein they can also get an idea how the science and spirituality can bring in a revolution, how it can benefit them, it can contribute towards science also, and it can help them also in their personal pursuit. So I was thinking of having some kind of workshops at school level also, going ahead, inviting them to come up with some certain demonstrations and all. And then beyond that, we want to have a place wherein, a good place. We have a place now in Bangalore, but we want to have a better place where we have certain scientists and spiritualists working together, okay, especially in certain areas, to contribute overall for the growth of this interface of science and spirituality. So these are some of the thoughts from my side, and we want everybody's help to take all these things further, actually. Yeah.
So Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore stays very near to IISc, and lot of students visit Bhaktivedanta Institute on daily basis, especially twice a week at least for 2 classes. So you are an active participant in Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore. So can you explain about your experience?
Yeah, it is very important to get involved in the activities conducted by Bhaktivedanta Institute. It's also closer to IISc. So, my connection was with Prabhupada, started from when I joined in IISc. So that time, Vaishnav Bandhu Prabhu, Vaishnav Bandhu Das from ISKCON, he visited to my office. And from then we had a lot of discussion. And then in between I got one email from Bhaktivedanta Institute to attend the Bhagavad Gita class. So
Is
then,
year?
I think 15, 16, 17 around that time.
Okay, 2017.
Yeah, 2017. And then I attended the classes. Simultaneously, I had also other classes attended from ISKCON. Some other people, they also gave these classes. And that helped a lot of ways to improve my understanding on spirituality and God. As God cannot be understood anyway, whatever we do, but we should try our best so that if God's mercy comes, then maybe we'll be able to understand it. So in that way, Bhaktivedanta Institute helped me a lot. So through these classes, and also I interact with the devotees. That's why this sadhu sangha is very important to understand, because God Himself says wherever His devotees speak, He is present there. So that means to understand God, God is basically Sachidananda Vigraha. So in this Brahma Samhita, Brahma speaks. So this Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So that's why God is everything. And where do we find God? He is the source of happiness, because He is the content, Ananda, Chit, knowledge, and the Sat. Everything is in Him only. So without Him, everything is tasteless. So it's very important, and in that way, Bhagavat Krupa that we need, and finally we need the Bhagavat Prema, but that is far away from now. But anyway, this Bhaktivedanta Institute, all these activities that help me a lot in improving spirituality in spiritual sense also.
Now you are a part of Bhaktivedanta Institute as well.
Yeah, I feel like that only. Yeah, so because all my sanghas, all the sadhus are my sanghas only. Yeah, so I feel like a part of Bhaktivedanta Institute, and in the same note, I'm part of God also. Yeah, so this is very, very important, and I would suggest also all these activities, the seminars and the workshops, those should be conducted on a regular basis. That helps. I mean, as a general public, that helps a lot. But if you are a little bit advanced, you don't need that much of this conferences, etc. But I mean, the sadhu sangha is always important. Whenever and wherever you are, without that you cannot understand, you cannot release the God's mercy even a small amount. So that is very, very important, and that is provided by Bhaktivedanta Institute now. So I feel very elevated now in that way. Thank you.
Sir, you are also closely associated with Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore, and also you are a director at Institute of Value Education and Research in Jajpur, Orissa. So if you can throw some light on the institute activities that you are doing in Orissa, and as well the activities that you are involved in Bhaktivedanta Institute Bangalore.
Main focus of Institute of Values Education and Research is that presented by my spiritual mentor, Dr. Singh. That main focus is that how to develop spiritual values, moral values by studying applied science and technologies, combining science and spirituality, the synthesis of science and spirituality. That is called values education. Guru Maharaj, our Dr. Singh, he created University of Bhagavad Culture. It has, you may primarily see three categories. One category is science and spirituality, where the study of science and religion by combining scientists and spiritualist leaders together, and study of Vedanta paradigm, Vedanta and science, study of naturopathy, yogic treatment, Ayurveda. Similarly, Bhagavad paradigm include Varnashrama system, and the study of shlokas, Sanskrit, the language Sanskrit, and Vedic institutions, how the Vedic institution promotes various art, culture, sculptures that overall develop values. So three division you may see. Basically, the idea behind all this Institute of Value Education is to support and create this framework that overall values being developed through science, spirituality, philosophy, art, science, culture, wherever you have the excellence. When that excellence be utilized for the betterment of humanity by cultivating spiritual values, that is values education. And that is the primary wing that we are doing through Bhaktivedanta Institute by combining scientists and a spiritual leader in one table, the dialogue and resolve many of the unsolved problems. Similarly, other paradigms, maybe Bhagavad paradigm or in any other paradigm in any other religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, wherever, when that paradigm support the development of spiritual values among the young minds and the elder generations as well, then that brings the lasting peace. That is my future plan, that how we can have more such value educations at the very grassroots level, such as kindergarten to primary, upper primary, then intermediate level, and at the top level universities. So that is the idea. So here I am in Bangalore. I closely work with Prabhakar, for facilitating seminar conferences and wherever any value education related conferences, seminars. That is how I work together.
Amazing. I think the questions rounds are now almost done. Now in the end, to give it a kind of window, we have a rapid fire round where actually there are three sections to it. One is I'll name two scientists. You have to choose one among them, and yes or no question is there, and one word answer is there. So I will go with Prabhakar sir about two scientists, and he has to choose one among two scientists. Let's. Are you ready? Let's
So
start.
you are going to give both scientists names. Okay.
And you have to choose one among them.
Okay, and we have to tell the reason also.
Not. Oh yeah, if you can later wise. Otherwise, the flow, the mind
No
will
okay.
think.
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton?
Einstein,
Stephen Hawking or Roger Penrose?
Penrose,
Nicholas Tesla or Thomas Alva Edison?
Thomas Alva Edison,
Homi Jahangir Baba or APJ Abdul Kalam?
APJ Abdul Kalam.
Quite different. I thought Nicholas Tesla you will tell Thomas Alva Edison. Okay, next. Let's go with the yes or no question now.
Okay.
For yours, one is done. Your sir's round is yes or no. Does one require spiritual master to progress in spirituality?
Yes.
Does material things like money, fame, or any material things require to make a spiritual advancement?
No.
Do you think material education is different from spiritual education?
No.
Do you think spiritual world is different from what we know?
Yes.
One word answer
okay.
for Professor Balram Sahu. Who is your favorite scientist?
Einstein.
Who is your favorite spiritualist?
Madhvacharya.
Name one organization that can bridge science and spirituality effectively.
I don't know many.
What is the one thing that you cannot pass a day without doing?
We are thinking about that. The expectation of the real Ananda.
So we come to this end of panel discussion. I think we could have spoken more and more, and due to the time constraint, I think we should be stopping here. And really good, insightful thought. I think what I can draw from what we discussed is the science and spirituality, the power and the meaning. When both comes together, it actually gives a mankind a lasting world peace and betterment of a mankind. It's very much necessary, and the purpose of Bhaktivedanta Institute and IVER is wonderful. I think going forward we can actually produce more content like this, and hopefully this content will help the synthesis of science and spirituality in a better way, and also it serve a purpose for a Bhaktivedanta Institute. And I urge audience to subscribe to the channel, and you can expect a more content like this in coming days. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.